Quadrupole mass spectrometry. What is it? How does it work? And why is it useful? Mass spectrometry is something we have talked about several times on this channel already. In a nutshell, mass spectrometers consist of an ion source, a mass analyzer, and a detector. My videos on electron spray ionization and electron ionization are two examples of ionization methods. In my video on Malditoff, I briefly explained the ionization method of Maldi, as well as the time of flight mass analyzer. I will leave a link to my playlist containing all of my videos relevant to mass spectrometry by the end of this video. However, today we are taking a closer look at another mass analyzer used in mass spectrometry, namely the quadrupole ion analyzer. Broadly speaking, the QMS consists of 4 parallel rods that have fixed DC and alternating RF potentials applied to them. Ions produced in the source of the instrument are then focused and passed along the middle of the quadrupole rods. QMS separates ions based on the stability of their flight trajectories through this oscillating electric field in the quadrupole. As you can tell, there is quite a lot to unpack here, so let us dive into what this looks like in further detail. First, as always with mass spectrometry, the sample has to be ionized. In the case of quadrupole mass spectrometry, this is usually done by electron bombardment. If you want to know more about how that works, I have a video linked by the end of this one. In a nutshell though, the sample gets shot repeatedly by electrons, which in turn knocks off some of its electrons, making it ionized. Second, the ionized sample enters the QMS, where 2 electrical fields caused by the 4 parallel rods start affecting it. What is vital to understanding how this is done is remembering that the degree to which these 2 fields interact with the ions is dependent on their size. Smaller ions are affected more, and larger ions are affected less. This can be likened to a small boat and a large ship. A small boat can easily maneuver as soon as the rudder is turned, while a larger ship takes a lot more time to turn. For the x direction, smaller ions will stay in phase with the RF drive, gain energy from the field, and oscillate with increasingly large amplitude until they encounter one of the rods and are discharged. Larger ions, on the other hand, will not be affected as much, staying their course without encountering any of the rods. Therefore, the x direction is a high-pass mass filter, i.e., only ions with a high enough mass will be transmitted to the other end of the quadrupole without striking the x electrodes. On the other hand, in the y direction, heavy ions will be unstable because of the defocusing effect of the DC component, but some lighter ions will be stabilized by the AC component if its magnitude is such as to correct the trajectory whenever its amplitude tends to increase. Thus, the y direction is a low-pass mass filter, i.e., only low masses will be transmitted to the other end of the quadrupole without striking the y electrodes. Did you find that confusing? Don't you worry, so did I when I first read about this. The main point, however, is that when the net charge interacting with the sample is mainly positive, the larger ions are stable and the smaller ions are unstable. On the other hand, when the net charge interacting with the sample is mainly negative, the smaller ions are more stable and the larger ions are more unstable. If you want an even more detailed explanation of this, I recommend that you check out Short Chemistry's video on it. I found that his explanation was the best one available, that I could find at least. I will link his video in the description below, so you can find it there. Anyway, by selecting a suitable ratio of RF to DC, the 2 directions together give a mass filter which is capable of resolving individual atomic masses. This is why QMS is so useful. By simply adjusting the RF-DC ratio, we can create a convenient filter for a particular mass. Simultaneously, by varying the amplitude of DC and RF voltages, the entire spectrum can be scanned. If you want to learn more about how the sample is ionized using electron ionization, the video on the left is what you need. If instead there is anything else you want to learn with regards to mass spectrometry, the playlist on the right is going to be your friend. Please check that out. Until next time.